Hey guys, welcome to another episode of StuTube. It's November the 23rd. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Bitcoin price as well as going into a beautiful long position that I had sniped the absolute bottom, and I did share it in absolute real time. So if you guys think that sounds good, smack that thumbs up, subscribe, and with that, let's get it. Alright guys, starting off as always looking at my weekly Bitstamp chart on Bitcoin here, and you guys know what my macro opinion is on this market. If you don't, check out the link in my description for what I think is one of the most important technical analysis videos on this Bitcoin cycle. But basically I have been preaching to the choir here that I think this rally is in fact very bullish, and I've been expecting it 100%. But right now what I want to talk to you guys about is just the potential for a correction. And as well, I want to talk to you about where we are in this cycle once again. So one thing to consider is we are testing the top of these weekly candle bodies, the bodies from our all-time highs. So at this point, really a double top could form. Not saying it has to, but one thing that is looking good is we are testing another Fibonacci retracement line, and it looks like we got a successful bounce off that so far with this doji candle. But if we close this doji candle, I mean, one of two things will happen, right? Either we're going to absolutely take off like this is one massive bull flag, you guys, or we are going to break down below this Fibonacci line, below the wicks of this candle, and then possibly get a retracement down to somewhere in the 13 to 14K region. My reasoning for that is, and again, this doesn't have to happen, and none of this is financial advice. Always do your own research, form your own opinions, and check out many different viewpoints, guys, not just mine. Follow along with a lot of different people, get a lot of different opinions. But the reason I'm looking for a retracement to this point eventually is a couple of reasons. One, we have this old resistance here. It would make sense to get a bit of a support flip there. Also kind of in the same area of this old resistance here. One other thing that I just noticed that was kind of interesting about that 618 line, if I just pull this swing low to swing high of this entire move since the COVID pandemic dump, that 618 rejection point from the entire bear market matches up pretty darn close with the 382 of looking for a bounce point pulled bottom to top instead of vice versa, guys. And that is interesting to see because the 382 level is a very important Fibonacci line in my opinion when you are trending up, and if it's a strong market conditions, a strong rally, that 382 quite often acts as a bit of a bounce point. So that would absolutely make sense if we did drop to somewhere around, if we are topping out right now, if we would drop to somewhere around that 382, because it matches up again between that 13 to 14K, guys. As well, kind of looking for a bit of a support flip on really this whole support box. Really, it could go down even closer to 12K, something like that. Like I've been preaching in other videos, guys, this, when we do get a retracement after a move to the upside like what we've got here, the pullback, it would make a lot of sense if it's quite violent, guys. It could be very quick, and it just wouldn't really shock me. Looking back to the Fibonacci pulled top to bottom though on this entire bear market, and just something I want to point out about this 618 line here is if I switch over to my logarithmic chart, guys. Alright guys, so assuming you've all seen my macro analysis video, just kind of looking at where we are in the trend right now, you know, these blue arrows are the election dates, we have our Bitcoin halving dates. So to me, these two purple triangles are very similar. This whole market cycle is so similar in so many ways, as I pointed out in that video. But the main thing being we break out of our triangle, we have our halving date, and then we retest that 382 rejection point for a bit of a support flip, if you will, and then we start making our way towards all-time highs. What do we have here? We broke out of our triangle, although it's a little differently shaped. We did break out of the triangle after the halving date and got our support flip on that 382 rejection point, and we're making our way to all-time highs, guys. So if we consider these patterns to be very, very similar, what happened after we reached damn near all-time highs is we did take a steep correction down to that 618 rejection point, guys. That's exactly where we found support. We dipped just barely below it, but you can see that is where we found support. Then we got our break above all-time highs, a bit of a fake out again, a harsh rejection, but from there it just absolutely exploded, and I think we're in a very similar market uh, timeline as right here. That's what I'm expecting to happen when I talk about that potential pullback. We are near all-time highs. We had that 382 retest, sharp rejection to that 13 or 14,000 mark around that 618 rejection point would absolutely make sense in my opinion, guys. All right, guys, gonna zoom right into the Bitcoin 15-minute chart here. And as I said, I nailed the absolute bottom of this, damn near even the bottom of this wick. I shared in real time on my Twitter. Make sure you follow me on Twitter. But you can see here, I did lay it out. I'm taking a bit of a 25x long on Bitcoin here at 17.7K with stop loss, blah, blah, blah. I'm only starting with half my position entry. I'm viewing it as high risk. Very important, guys. Just an example of me using bankroll management, right? I wasn't super confident in the pattern, so I didn't go all in right off the hop. I was looking to ladder in, if anything, or kind of feel it out, see how it goes. Looking for a specific pattern to add more if it was going to happen. And yeah, look at that. That's absolutely beautiful. Obviously, the wick jumped a bit because, well, it took a minute or so to type the message and it got very volatile. I'll go into why I took that trade. If I zoom out on the 15-minute chart, I was just looking for a bit of a trading range and went something like that, just connecting those wicks from down previously here. And you can see we were in fact getting near that. And as well, something I checked out while we were near that line of interest to me, a potential line of support. You can see here that the RSI was getting into oversold territory, not by much, but a little bit, so I was willing to enter a bit of a trade. This pivot point actually happened on the next candle, so once I saw that, I was even more confident with my trade. As well, in that picture, you can see that I did have some other lines mapped out. Looking at a bit of a falling wedge here, the fact that we dipped below, but then got right back into the wedge, uh, it just screamed fake out to me. So I was thinking, being I am so bullish in the markets lately, it just seemed like it was a good move. And I started taking profits early. That's just kind of an insight to how I trade. I still do have most of the position open. Um, I'm hoping that we do just end up carrying on to the upside, but I'm just kind of willing to ride it out at break even now. So we're going to have to see how that goes. Um, Another line of interest to me, if I were to just zoom out here for more of a resistance line in the immediate term, that looks about right. If I'm just to freestyle something, turn it red for resistance, and I'm going to carry out this trend line because it seems to be playing out. And I'll just make it red too, so that keeps it all the same. So that's kind of the trade range I'm watching for now, guys. I would ideally, I mean, we do already have 3 touch points along this trend line, but these two are so close together, I'd more prefer to have them more spaced out. So if we got another touch somewhere down here, further down, whatever, somewhere in there, guys. Doesn't have to exactly play out that way, just the more touch points, the better. The more confident I'd feel if this is actually gonna break out and rather than be more of a fake out. So we'll have to see how this trend develops, but that's just kind of the range I'm watching for now. Might try to snipe some trades in there, but we'll have to see. These lines are just kind of out of boredom and watching the trend develop. Anyways, guys, that's about all I have to say today. I don't have anything crucial, nothing too important. The market is still looking beautiful, but as I've mentioned many times now, we're definitely at risk of a big pullback anytime. So adding any trades right now is a little risky if you don't know what you're doing. and have proper bankroll management, that sort of stuff if you guys are trading. I only personally trade with a very small percentage of my crypto account, so that's just kind of what I do. That's my strategy. I'd rather have slow gains and be able to lose 100 trades than wipe myself out of an account within 2 or 3 wrong trades, right? So just something to keep in mind, guys. Anyways, other than that, I would just like to say I noticed this weekend I had the biggest increase in subscribers that I think I've personally seen on this channel. I'm still a new channel, but I still do believe that I have some good technical analysis and some good trading abilities. So share this channel if you have anyone you think would benefit from it. Other than that, just thumbs up, subscribe. And thank you so much for giving me a little bit of time out of your day, guys, and checking out the channel. I know it's uh, not as fancy as some of them out there, but you know what? There is good information here. And as time goes on, I'm hoping that this channel can grow. The more people that I have who are interested in it, the more time I'm going to put in and all that sort of stuff, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I couldn't appreciate it more. And with that, I'm out. Be sure to follow me on Twitter once more. And thanks for tuning in. Peace out.